next session, which we're going to talk about non-monetary reward and recognition. So ages ago, whenever we asked the HR network what they wanted to focus on this year, a couple of things came out quite strongly. One was safety and security, and the other was reward and recognition. So we thought we'll include some time to talk about this topic today. And as you can see in the little grey diagram, this falls under the area of manage within the framework, and that's what Shuma shared with us yesterday. So hopefully, just love to start off the session by asking people to share, can you give an example of what you think non-monetary reward or recognition is? So put it in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself and just give an example. Any suggestion is welcome. Great. So thank you. So flexible working arrangements, well-being initiatives. Yeah, great. Birthday cards, cards for special occasions. Nice idea. Best employee, working from home, letters of appreciation. Great. Lots of lovely, great ideas there. Celebrations. So I think it was Doris shared yesterday as well about the idea of a friendship day and having some kind of celebration like that. Director's handshake. I like the sound of that with me. That sounds great. Day off. I think that's a perk that a lot of people appreciate, is having a day off. Recognition certificates, training opportunities, really, really important. And we talked about that a bit yesterday. Retreats. So yeah, I think TLM is quite unusual in places I've worked, for sure, in that a lot of countries do give their staff retreats, which is a lovely benefit to have. Better office, yes, upgrading the office can be a huge perk for people, something that excites staff and motivates them. Having a day off. Lunch out, yes, and I think Shumi, you also shared about the spring day where you all came to work in colourful clothes and celebrated the start of spring together. Fantastic. So lots of really lovely ideas there. I don't think these pictures are going to show us anything then that we haven't already said, but just things like a simple thank you for places where parking is at a premium. So if you think of some of the big cities in the world, parking can be such an expensive part of your working life. So, where an office can offer a parking spot, that's often a huge benefit for staff. Professional growth, so I think it was Tay mentioned that, and just how valuable that can be if you feel like your organization is investing in your development. Working from home, which is something that a lot of us have had the opportunity to try out over the last year, and flexible schedules. So I think someone else mentioned that, just how valuable that can be if you need to go to the dentist or the doctor, or if you've got kids that you need to take to school. Just having some flexibility in your working hours is a really huge benefit. Other things that people have already referred to, yeah, a free vacation day, an extra day off, just can really help people to relax and recover after a particularly busy period. Employee of the month, I think Peter mentioned that, maybe that's something that's happening in Nepal. Lunch with the boss, director's handshake. So lots of really great ideas, and we just thought it's helpful to remind ourselves of those things at the minute. Okay.
So thank you, Jane, for that introduction, and thank you everybody for your notes, which keep coming up. I think there were so many ideas on non-monetary rewards or recognition and ways we could recognize, and we just want to continue this discussion here in this big group with the 2 questions you see on the screen. So we've been thinking already of some of the rewards that we already know, but it would be interesting to know how people feel about it. How do your teams feel about these rewards? Okay, what is the reception? How do they feel? Do they like it? Has it motivated them? Second question is, what would be the most motivating, non-monetary reward? So feel free to put it in the chat, or even unmute if you want to just explain a little bit more. You're very welcome to. We just have a few minutes now to really pause for a while and just look at this. So any thoughts? How do people feel? That's question 1. So if you're replying to question 1, put it in the chat, question 1. Do they like it? Does it work? Is it fantastic? And then what would be the most motivating? That's question 2. Let's have to think about that. And feel free to unmute to just chat with us now together.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Amanda.
So at England and Wales, I think people really like the non-monetary awards of the Wellbeing Initiative. So they can come in lots of different ways. They can come in terms of we've done financial well-being. So we've looked at especially during the pandemic, we looked at pensions and managing your finance. We've looked at mental health and how we can support people. We've looked at physical things, we've looked at nutrition, we've looked at sleep, we've looked at all sorts of things which people have offered. And I think people have really valued that. So that can be, sometimes it's part of the working day, depending on what we're doing, or sometimes we call it a wellbeing lunchtime, where we just come together, and it just so happens it's at lunchtime and people bring their lunch and we just chat about things. And yeah, I'm not sure I could single out what was the most motivating one, but I think people really appreciate it because it's giving back, isn't it? It's people, we're thinking about our staff and are supporting them. So yeah, I think it's a really valuable thing to do.
Thank you. Those are really good ideas that England and Wales has done. I think really interesting. Nutrition, sleep, definitely we need that during these times. We've got a few responses, like Bunmi says that people do like it. It makes them feel included and valued. Thank you, Bunmi. Do you want to just explain a bit more?
Yeah, I say that because at least from my own experience with my team and both in Chad and Niger, when they feel inclusive, they don't feel excluded, they don't feel as if they are not valued because of what we appreciating what they are doing by rewarding them with maybe I use jokingly director's handshake, but beyond that, taking them out for lunch and you just relax in an atmosphere where people can just feel relaxed and not feel under tense of trying to make deadline, has a way of it positively affect their emotions and they're willing to contribute. And so for us in TLM Niger, example, we try to make our office like a family where people can come into and work and feel valued, feel appreciated. So irrespective of your positions or title, it doesn't matter, you're valued, you're bringing contributions, to the work. And for me, because of the kind of terrain where we work, because of the weather, it can be terribly hot in the afternoon. So if a staff, we have a little couch, if a staff, feel tired, they can lie down on the couch and sleep. And I don't rebuke staff for sleeping on duty, and that makes them feel, okay, my well-being is also a concern for this mission. So staff sometimes just, if they are tired, they can just relax and take a nap and rest and then go back again to work, So when the staff feel not threatened and feel not under.
I think Bunmi's connection has just dropped, but he's really shared a lot about investing in staff in different ways, just making them feel valued and able to just relax. Oh, hi, welcome back. But I'm also noting, no worries, but thank you for your sharing. I think it really is helpful to understand how you do it in TLM Niger and making the environment so comfortable and warm for people to just feel valued as well and included, and their needs taken care of. We've also got Galen who's been saying that public appreciation of good work is very much appreciated, and the different types of reward come with the benefits as well. Non-monetary rewards encourage. Monetary does give some financial aid in helping people. And Linda, you've also said flexible working gives them choices. I think it's always good that people want to have that choice. Belle, you've noted that different people have different ways that they would appreciate rewards, professionals or support staff, but training is highly taken up by professionals. Thank you, Seisei, also for a good memory of staff coming together. And I know you do that. You used to try and do that on an annual basis in Myanmar. I think I saw a hand up. Was it Doris that you have your hand up?
Yes, indeed. To ask me. Yeah. Yes, because I want to talk because in Congo, it was the first time we did it. So it was the first staff we, let's say, we give the reward, something of the reward. So we have to organize after the morning devotion. And it was like a surprise. So no, it was like a surprise, but all staff felt really they appreciated because it was the first time, you know, and it was a surprise for the staff who take the reward, and we think that we will do it again, but it was the first time. So just I was just to say to tell you that it was really appreciated because the staff was really valued and yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It goes a long way in making people feel good about themselves and that the organization cares about them. Thank you also, Dorothy, for encouraging staff to speak out about their issues, definitely giving them space to be able to bring their concerns. Yeah, and more as well. When staff are engaged, thank you, Talia, and we create a positive working experience. I think all of these lead to a very positive working experience, and it all links together, isn't it? This to staff engagement, even retaining good people because they feel appreciated, they feel recognized. I know in one country, they make it a regular practice to draw lots of people's names, and then they would appreciate the person and say something that they like about that colleague as well, and everybody gets a turn. I believe it was PNG. Any more thoughts anybody else would like to share that hasn't shared yet? Feel free to unmute your microphones.
Yeah, I really like the comment from Garland as well about non-monetary award does encourage, but monetary reward gives financial security. I think that's important to remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and he's also added one. Thank you, Garland, about staff who are about to retire. Yeah, definitely they would appreciate, you know, something monetary which would encourage them, especially when they need it. And perhaps a last comment.
Cindy, if I may say something.
Oh, yes, Dorothy.
Also, one important thing is when we are recruiting the special needs staff, it is also to make them as much as possible as normal people, to include them in our decision making and just duty of care trying to promote. So if we're having our normal staff, it is equally important to also welcome and work together with the special needs person too. So that person is very valued and being part and piece of the organization.
Thank you, Dorothy, for that reminder. Really appreciate that. And Suma, perhaps the last comment from you.
For the monetary reward, it has some limitations or depends on the decision making from the senior level. But non-monetary rewards is ongoing. You could plan different ideas and apply for the team members, and not like the same for every year. So you could plan differently and gather idea from the staff as well. So that might be encouraging staff and help to create a team spirit. But it's true that it depends or vary to staff. In some cases, I observed that still some staff don't like to wear, suppose, in colorful dresses, or they don't like to spend time with other staff in like having tea together, but depends on what type of appreciation he would like. So line managers is line managers technique, what type of non-monetary ideas or activities or initiatives he or she could apply for the team.
Thank you, Suma. And I know that you have a lot of creative ideas, and we look forward to more. After the workshop, we will come and look for you and ask your advice. But thank you, everybody, for this discussion and for this time together. We're just going to move on to the next portion from Jane. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Cindy. Yes, there's lots of creative people in this EHR network, so we look forward to sharing ideas. Hopefully a lot of you will remember the tiny little Excel sheet that you can see on the right of the screen is there to jog your memory. And just a huge thank you to 16 members of the Global Fellowship that have contributed to sharing their data around the area of benefits. So really just wanted to say thank you for that. And what we've been doing with that is over the last few months, we've been working on a cross-member comparison of benefits. And the idea is that we start to kind of see what members are offering what benefits to their staff and what the variation is in that across the Global Fellowship. So step one is really collecting the data, and that's what we've done so far. And maybe just to say, if there's anyone on this meeting who hasn't been able to contribute their data and would like to, we really welcome that. So please do get in touch if you would like to contribute some of your data. But we've really enjoyed doing that. It's been really insightful, and it's led to some really good conversations. What we're now doing is step two, which is the data analysis. So we've been trying to look at across members, what can we see that is similar? What can we see that is different? And maybe what do we think we could potentially look at improving or introducing? So for example, maternity leave across the members does vary quite considerably, and that's often to do with national guidelines. And paternity leave's another one. Even number of days of public holidays, again, varies considerably across members. So we just think it's really helpful to look at these things, to start to talk about them, and to see if we can then go ahead and make some recommendations on things that may need to be improved. So step three will be making the recommendations. Once we've done some more analysis, we'll make recommendations to some senior leaders and see how we can bring about some change in this area. So yeah, we wanted to give you an update on how far we've got, and also just to remind anyone who hasn't been able to share their data, please do get in touch, and that will be really helpful. Okay.
Okay, so now it's time for a small group discussion. So we had non-monetary rewards earlier, and now we were talking about benefits. So just switching tracks a little bit and getting you to think about non-monetary benefits that you would like to see introduced or improved in your country. And if you're in small groups, so you can just share that a little bit more with each other. We have about just slightly under 10 minutes for this discussion. But also, as you think about that, if there's something you hear that you like, think about how you can help to make this happen in your country. What could you do? Okay, so without much further ado, we're going to put you into small groups and enjoy your discussion.